A lot of chaos in the gaming industry right now. Hey, remember those games that you used to play, like your Midnight Clubs and your Burnouts? Those smaller budget AA games or single A games that you could enjoy, just pop in every once in a while and just have fun with them. Remember those? Well, they never went away. They just changed names. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you into the world of indie games. Now, what are indie games? Well, indie games are exactly how they sound. Indie means independent. Any game that's not being released by any of these big companies or any of their subsidiaries is considered indie. Especially nowadays with gaming being easier and easier to make with things like Unity and the tons of dedicated fans who mod projects of their own in other games, just making them into their own thing. Like for example, did you know the entirety of Doom has been modded to hell and back? Sonic fans created an entirely original fan game called Sonic Rebel Blast, and then that game got a sequel. And then that game got a go-kart spinoff, and then that spinoff game got a spinoff game. Trust me, the rabbit hole for this kind of stuff is deep. Very, very deep. These are some of those lesser titles that you see taking up store space, not the ones that look like shovelware garbage, but the other small games that you probably didn't hear about, or maybe are blowing up every once in a while. Now, I'm not gonna act like you don't know what some indie games are, because I'm pretty sure you heard of games like Cuphead, a very fun boss rush game that looks like an old school cartoon. And I'm pretty sure every gamer knows or at least has heard about Terraria, Stardew Valley, or Shovel Knight, right? What I'm doing here in this video is just giving my own perspective on indie games, how I got into them, and the ones that I honestly would recommend people to follow now. 2004. Nowhere out of nowhere. Bam! What's that? It's a story in a cave. Cave Story is a very, very great game, and a game I hold very personally to my heart. It's a game that helped me not only discover the wider range of indie games, but also helped me appreciate video game music more than Ocarina of Time did. Cave Story was created by one guy. No, I'm serious, one guy. He coded it, made the music, made the characters, made the character art, the locations, the weapons, the gameplay, all of it by himself. Sure, took him 4 years, but hey, he did it. Daisuke Amaya. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But we'll just call him by his pen name, Pixel. According to development history, Pixel just made this game in his free time when he was not busy playing Super Metroid. I think it's always interesting for game developers to always take inspiration from the games that they're currently playing and then put their own little spin and ideas into it. Cave Story is very, very, very much inspired by Super Metroid, but it's more linear than that. The story takes place on a floating island, which has a cave in it. Duh. There's these weird race of rabbit dog creatures called Amigas, and they're really adorable. Apparently, there's this robot named Quo who doesn't have any sort of memory and is mute, unless you're playing as Curly. Then he talks, because basically all they did is swap roles. But apparently there's this weird story of an evil doctor, a weird war that never gets explained more than any background information on screen. Great character design, a rip-off Kool-Aid, man. And fun, easy, precise platforming with fun guns and weapons to play as you explore a wide variety of locations, listen to some of the best pixelated music that I have ever heard, and just have a good time. And the game's not even that long, it's like not even 8 hours long, but I come back to this game every now and then just for its tight gameplay, fun story and characters, and overall it's just a really good time. Now, the easiest way to access Cave Story is to download it off the website for free. But if you do want to support Pixel, because even after this game has been re-released on almost every Nintendo platform and a few other systems, and of course Steam, Pixel still gets a cut of the earnings because he still owns the property. Nicholas is the publisher. But essentially, if there's a Nintendo platform that's out there, Cave Story has been released on it. I'm talking Wii, DSi, 3DS, and most recently on the Nintendo Switch. If I were to recommend any version of this game besides the Steam version, it would definitely be the Switch version. It has all of the updated features from the other versions of the game that were released, including remix soundtracks, updated character sprites and animation, and a fully functioning two-player mode that the game was not built for, but hey, it's still a fun way to play Cave Story. And the reason why I'm not going so heavily on any of its actual assets other than just like what kind of game it is because that these games are very precious and special. They should be experienced by a lot of people. Speaking of another oldie but a goodie, for no reason, the Xbox Live Arcade just had this game called Dust, an Elysian Tale. For no reason, and for also no reason, Toonami Tom was just like, hey y'all, I'm Steve Bloom. I'm gonna talk about this game and review it on the channel. Why? Why? I don't know, but I'm glad they did because this game, as Tom said, is actually really good 2D beat 'em up action fun. Noogie otherwise known as Dean Dodrill, is another solo creator. Actually, no, from some sources, he actually co-created the game with his wife, but regardless of the circumstance, there it is. Bro just hand-drawn an entire game and was just like, hey, here you go. I'm like, okay, bet. This game is really, really, really fun and really good. It's on Steam, the iOS store, and even the Switch. Wow, I really got a Switch port. That's actually pretty dope. And of course, originally it came out on Xbox Live Arcade. No, man, the Live Arcade. There's a bunch of good gems in there. Regardless, we're here to talk about the little guys. Then again, with how big some of these small games get, can we really call them little guys? I mean, Cave Story is like the grandfather. Actually, no, it's more like the godfather of indie games, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who play games know about Cave Story to some degree. But you know what? I kind of want to detour to a game that fucks with you. That is Madoka Magica. Hi, Jonathan Blow. Thanks for making Braid and The Witness. I can't stand you. For those who don't remember, Braid was a puzzle platformer, one that was akin to something like Mario, except with the ability that you could rewind and manipulate time. He self-funded the game himself, and apparently he made it as a sort of pseudo-critique of how modern game design was just becoming complacent. Regardless of that, he told a very interesting and kind of reverse narrative story about this guy named Tim. That's him right there, hi Tim, and his attempts to get the princess. Notice how I didn't say save. And then there's The Witness, a puzzle game in a very weird open world folio kind of environment that has a bunch of little tablet-ass micro games with it. And like, I feel like these are all deliberate because those in the environment itself, it's like a puzzle that tries to tell a story, but it's so weird. I can't describe it. It's best if you just play it yourself or watch a review. I honestly don't actually recommend people play The Witness, but like The Witness is something that everyone should experience at least once in terms of a gaming experience. I cannot believe how insane some of these developers are. Jesus. That's Meat Boy. He is square. And there's his girlfriend. Can't remember her name, but she's kidnapped by Dr. Fetus. And now I just have to rescue her. Sounds super easy, right? Wrong. Super Meat Boy was the game of frustration and rage for a lot of people. I think the main reason why people remember this game is because of all the YouTubers that rage quit at it back in the day. The ultimate precise platformer that would just immediately boot you back to the beginning because haha, you died a lot, and it was super fun. It was super fun just getting better, learning the speed techniques, and just blitzing through these stages as fast as you can, not only just for the completing the game kind of narrative, but like getting those bonuses and 100% completion. This is a game that you just really want to put in when you got something to prove. Remember when they wanted Meat Boy in Smash? Okay, let's slow down for a bit. Why do they matter? Well, indie games at the end of the day are just video games created by small people, either one person or a small team of intelligent or creative people. At the end of the day, it's a lot of things. A lot of people just chalk it up to nostalgia, but I don't think that's the case. I think indie games are just examples of fans wanting to create their own experiences from the experiences that helped make them. Gaming is such a very big world of opportunities and adventures and experiences, sounds, and all kinds of different things that you can't get in any other genre. So why not create something out of that? Hell, if a few people can make their own games, and if people can come together to make a team to create an idea, why not go for it, you know? I just think that nowadays indie games matter a lot more for me because a lot of games can feel pretty samey. I'm not gonna list any names because I don't want to diss or slight nobody, but what I am saying is that there's a creative field that just exists that you just have to look for. A lot of these games can be found in your Games Zone catalog library, like the Xbox Arcade or the Switch's eShop, or even the PlayStation Network if you look for it. A lot of these game devs are just very creative and talented people, and I just think that as I keep going, I'm gonna circle back to this topic and call out a couple more games, because a lot of these games deserve to be cherished and loved. Alright, that's enough being mopey. Let me quick round a few other indie games that I really like before I get out of here. A Hat in Time, not only for being one of the funnest platformers I've ever played in a while, but also because of the fact that, remember when a lot of people were trying to clown this game because it was a game about a hat, and then Mario Odyssey came out in like the same year for like that was really weird. Anyway, this game is great. It has great characters, awesome music, and one of the most long-going Steam communities I think I will ever see in the given future. This game is still getting content from the creators and from the Steam group to this day. And the creators even like shout out the Steam group too. That's dedication, and that's real love for the fans. I love seeing that. Please support them. A certain friend of mine would kill me if I didn't talk about Spark the Electric Jester, so I'm going to talk about Spark the Electric Jester. It's a fun little series that's inspired by Sonic and a little bit of Kirby, so I just really think that you should check it out as well. Maybe you're a Mega Man fan. Check out Azure Striker Gunvolt, that shit's also good. I'm really just spitballing a bunch of game lists here, but I think what the main point I'm just wanting everyone to know is that you have options. You have plenty of options. Because, I mean, if we can't help the industry, what can we do? All right, we can just buy Nintendo and indie games because they're like the only companies out here who's actually doing shit good.